Here we go. All right, let's do this. Welcome, everybody. Tony Fix, BlueGreen Artifacts. We just have some more pickups. We're going to jump right into it. I'm hoping I can burn through this and get something else done before bedtime. So I'm a dad, so bedtime is a little earlier than for a lot of you single ones out there. So yeah, we pick up. I do a lot of buying and selling of comic books. So I source from a lot of different places. I do pre-order. I do go to the local comic shop. I buy things on Whatnot. I buy things on eBay. This last week, we also took a trip to my hometown, Fargo, North Dakota, and stopped at two different shops there, and only had about 20 minutes in each, but zipped through as fast as I could through the long boxes and got some stuff. So let's just we'll show what came in. We'll maybe talk about it for a brief period of time, and maybe talk about what we're going to do with it. That's about it. That's about all we do here. Let's jump. All right. This Killmonger miniseries 1 through 5. I'm trying to pick them up when I see them for cover price or less. This is issue number 5. Great cover. This one, issue number 3. Another great cover. I think these were from one of the local comic shops. So Mel V. They must not tune into your show in Fargo, because they had a lot of Moon Girl books. Nothing huge. I didn't find anything that's like a $500 book in there or anything, but just got some nice covers, things that have creeped up above cover press. I'm sorry, this was number 11, the Sideways. This was number 20. Nice cover again. A lot of these Moon Girl books, low print run. This is number 21. There might be a first appearance in those last two that I'm not aware of. I'm not sure. We got Miss Marvel number 29. This is a cool book. Checks off a couple boxes. It's an Archie homage. It's also the first, if you like Baby Spec, this is the first appearance of her niece, Malik Khan, who later is revealed to have some powers of his own. We don't know what yet. Copy of Marvel's TIE Fighter number 1. Why not? And nobody had tapped into the Swordmaster stash there. So we got the Swordmaster number 1, the action figure variant. I don't think these are in order, but got issue number 11, number 10, the big one, number 9. It's the one everybody's hunting down. I do not remember the name of that first appearance in there, but that has popped into a, what, $50 book, something, maybe more. And it keeps going. Number 8. Number 7. I think after the first couple issues of this, it started to become underordered. I think in a lot of reasons, just because of this manga style of art. Number 6. You know, a lot of comic shops, a lot of people who place orders for comics don't give it a lot of credit, and that's probably a mistake. There's a lot of readers of manga nowadays, and they are starting to cross over into comic books. We have number 4, the Mary Jane variant. I think the same thing happened with that. What is that? I think it's a DC series RWBY. Kind of similar. They have a kind of a manga style art. Number 4, the regular cover. Number 3. Not all of these have spiked up, but a few of them have. And that's where that run ends, I believe. I have been looking for this. It hasn't started spiking yet, but I really like the cover of Ultimates. The Ultimates number 3 from 2016. There's a first print and the second print. This is the first print. There aren't a lot of blue Marvel covers, so this is a nice one with a few big hitters on it. Black Panther, Monica Rambeau, America Chavez, and Blue Marvel. Nice cover. I don't pick up every action figure variant I run into, but I could not resist the cheese factor of getting Adam X. The book is actually X-Men Legends #2, but Adam X was a super cheesy 90s character. Maybe it'd be, yeah, they could revive him, I guess. Dipped into the Invader Zim looking for this and found it. The Alex Pardee variant for issue number 13. This is probably a $50 book or so. Another action figure variant I couldn't pass up, the Spider-Woman Hulkbuster mashup. For the comic is Spider-Women number I don't know, number 7. I had forgotten about this action figure variant, that Spider-Punk has an action figure variant. Spider-Punk is on everybody's radar now. This is one we haven't really started talking about. This is for Spider-Verse #1. Then dug into their Star Wars books, Galactic Icons. Many of these have started spiking, not all of them. I picked up Poe Dameron just for the hell of it. Got a Lando action figure variant for, what is it, Star Wars #8. Picked up some Dr. Aphra. None of the big books necessarily, none of the ratio variants. That is #10. Great cover here. And #4. Dipped into the gem and the holograms and found a couple early Jen Bartels. Kind of like this dark cover. She usually uses such bright colors. This is a little out of her normal style. Gem and the holograms #11. This is the subscription variant. Not her first, but her early work. I think her first was in #8. Another early one in issue 15. A little bit more of her signature bright colors. Another action figure variant for Anakin. We're going to see him coming up in the Obi-Wan series, Star Wars #75. And I've been looking for these Gabby and Laura books, All New Wolverine Annual #1. This is that cool, I don't know who did the art. It looks like Cho, but it might not be. I've seen this art actually used on other products, merchandise. You got Jonathan down on the bottom, and you got Spider-Gwen. Lumberjanes, we don't talk about it much, but it is still being worked on for HBO. This is issue #2. 1 through 5 are kind of hard to find in good condition, so I do pick them up if I find them. I like to dig in the classic X-Men. Got some newsstand editions. Classic X-Men #36, a great Dark Phoenix cover. Another great Dark Phoenix cover, and a newsstand #42. I think this is, no, I thought that was Hughes, but it's not. The final issue of the first run of She-Hulk in a newsstand. These were all in pretty good high grade, so most of them were $2 to $4. A few of them I might have paid $10 for. We got a X-Men 2099. If I can find these foils without a spine tick and the price isn't crazy, I do pick them up, especially if they're the newsstand. This might have been my favorite find of that shop. Contest of Champions. This is spiked to be a $60, $70 book. #8, the variant edition. Again, another good Blue Marvel cover. Monica Rambeau, America Chavez. I've been looking for these Kingpin books ever since D'Onofrio joined the MCU. It's a nice cover for #2. Nice cover for #4. This Shuri #3, both this first print and the second print. with the Groot and Rocket in the background. I love that one. Shuri number 4, another great image. Shuri's spec has definitely cooled off quite a bit. I think this is Raza, this She-Hulk splitting into her center, her core. It's kind of been creeping. She-Hulk number 162. Doctor Doom number 6. This, I don't think we can call it iconic yet, but newly iconic Predator handshake cover. Love that one. Doctor Strange number 383, the Giving Tree homage. There's a first print and a second print. This is the first print of this one. Underrated book, hasn't started spiking yet. This one doesn't really have any value, but I kind of dig the video game or app video game, Android or Apple game variants for some of these books. So this is Guardians of the Galaxy, the Telltale series number 3. I didn't have that app, so I don't really know. The Gwenpool cosplay cover. I don't love a lot of these cosplay covers. This one I kind of dig. It's nice. Cover price. Why not, right? I snagged a couple of these, actually 3 or 4 of these. This is the red envelope variant for Monkey Prince number 1, and it really is a red envelope. I'll pull one out here. So you got the gold foil on the envelope, and it's an actual envelope. There's a little seal on the back. You can open it up, and the comic is inside. The barcode is on the back of the envelope, and the comic itself is, I believe it's the same cover, just with the foil. Pretty snazzy. Trying not to get any fingerprints on it. I said I wasn't really going to open these, but this one kind of popped open as we were looking at it, so why not? Go back in nicely. Go back in nicely. Please. Okay. This might be a process for later. Come on. There we go. All right. So for these, there's probably no grading them. I can't imagine. I mean, the bag, the envelope is part of the comic. But if you were to send it to CGC, I'm pretty sure they would want to take it out of the bag, the envelope. So you probably won't see many of those graded. I got 2 of them for pretty cheap, and then I paid market for 2 more. All right, what else do we have here? I've been looking for Kiss covers, many of them showing up on second prints. This was a Kiss with She-Hulk and Thor. I don't know. The Miles Gwen has spiked. There is Jane Foster Thor and Falcon Kiss cover that I've been trying to pick up as well. That one does have a second print. This is the only Tosin book that I currently own. I did not jump on that bandwagon right away. Black Panthers is the B cover. Black Panther number 3. Paid market for this, but hey, I wanted to own one. I think we're jumping to the other local comic shop now. Some of these early photo variants for the earlier Marvel movies are still sitting around. And some of those later ones have started spiking. That was X-Men 2. This is another variant cover for X-Men 2, number 1. Nice Nightcrawler. Probably my favorite character from X-Men 2, by the way. That was, I think, my favorite of the X-Men run. We've got Secret Wars 2, number 3. This is the first appearance in physical form, the first appearance of the Beyonder. I think Secret Wars is kind of a given. We're going to be getting it at some point in time. We will get the Beyonder. Uh, Another one, Marvel Secret Wars, no, the original Marvel Secret Wars, number 3. This is the first couple characters in this. Is it Titania? And no, it's not Spider Woman. I think it's Titania. I don't remember off the top of my head. But again, newsstand. These are in excellent condition. Like that's a really pretty spine. There might be a little bit of issues on corners, but I think this is definitely above a 9.0. So yeah. This is a book I look for. It's not worth anything right now. Jocasta, I think, is going to be entering the MCU. Might be a kind of Vision replacement once Paul Bettany hangs it up, or they could bring her in alongside Paul Bettany. She doesn't have a lot of books. There's a first appearance, but this is a nice one for her. Thing in Jocasta, Marvel 2-in-1. I think I got a couple copies of that. Let me pull these closer so I can stay on screen. One of these orders, they just sent a couple free books. So Larry's. Oh, the guy that I ordered the monkey prints, 2 of those. He threw in a couple. We got a blank My Little Pony. Yeah, why not? And then one of his variant exclusives, Over the Garden Wall #1 from Kaboom, a Larry Comics exclusive cover. Kind of nice. This one I've been all about this last 6 months. This is Unicorn with a K, Unicorn #1 from Scout Comics. I hit up their website that still had cheap copies of Unicorn #1. Unicorn #1 is not only optioned, but according to Scout Comics, they start filming this month. There's literally no news about it. It has not started speaking yet. There's a first print. There is a VHS variant. There's a second print. There's a metal variant. That might be it for Unicorn #1. But yeah, there were the creators, the 2 writers, Don Hanfield and Joshua Malkin, were the writing team. They wrote this knowing they were going to make it to be a movie. They're in the movie business. And yeah, they wanted to. They did a couple of interviews in December, so you can check those out. One's on YouTube and one is on some podcast where they're talking about the project and the movie, and they want to do like an 80s kind of Spielberg kind of feel-good family magical movie kind of thing. So sounds interesting. And my daughter's read the graphic novel in whole and she loves it. What else? Oh, more stuff from the Scout website. Cherry Blackbird. What is this? This is a variant cover for Cherry Blackbird #5. I think this is the web store exclusive. Cherry Blackbird has some really nice covers. I think I got some more copies of. This might just be the regular cover A. It might be the glow in the dark too. I honestly can't tell sometimes. Cherry Blackbird, very adult title. Very, very adult title. But you can pull that off on streaming nowadays, right? This was that other Kiss cover I was talking about. All new, all different Avengers #4. This is the second print with Jane Foster and Falcon. Another score from the Scout website, Third Wave #1, the New York Comic Con. Yep, the New York Comic Con variant. Scout got this license for, actually, I think it's a swimsuit company called Third Wave, back from, I don't know, the 80s or 90s or something. And they decided to kind of launch it as a title, as an IP. with characters and stories. So good for them. What else? Got a couple copies of these are still Scout web store pickups. Tales Told in Techno Horror, #1 from Black Caravan. I think this was a special variant cover. I don't remember if it was the web store or if it was the retailer incentive. This one I've talked about on my Instagram, and I still really love the cover, so I just picked up a few more. This is Impossible Jones. This is a variant cover for #1. It looks like Bruce Timm. It is not Bruce Timm, but it's kind of in that style. I had a couple copies and I picked up 4 more. I think this might be the 1 in 10. I am not sure. All right, let's keep it going. We're kind of Scout heavy today. Another Scout book from the website Unicorn. This was another variant that I didn't mention. Comic Tom, actually, down here in the corner. Comic Tom did an exclusive variant of a few kids titles. This is one, Unicorn #1. He did a regular full blue version of this, and then this two-tone blue-orange cover. But love the Dr. Seuss homage. Another Spider-Punk book that has started to creep up. I think this has got, it's close to 20 now, probably on its way up. Some of these I think we picked up in a Whatnot. I want to say this was a big variant, a 1 in 50 or 1 in 100. God, I got this from Vintage Phil at Vintage Comics and Toys. It might have even been a 1 in 200. I don't know. It was super cheap. I've got a lot of the second prints of this, but not many of the first. This is that Gunslinger 309 Spawn. Nice cover. And this one, I seem to just have a whole bunch of the 5th prints, and I can't find any other ones. Amazing Spider-Man #583, the Barack Obama cover. Again, this is a 5th print. Andy, my good friend Andy, the bearded one, was selling some of his saga books on Whatnot, and these are all very high grade. And these are all in the top 10. So we have #7. Great book. We got this awesome cover, probably my favorite cover of the whole series, in #8. And #5. High grade, high grade. Again, in my search for Gabby and Laura covers, this was a brand new cover. So this was out of a pre-order. Cabal did a cover for X Deaths of Wolverine, and he did a variant cover with Gabby and Laura, Honey Badger and X-23. I had 2 copies of that Thing in Jocasta book that we mentioned before. This is the kind of first solo series that I look for. I know other people are talking about first solo series that came out a few years ago. I don't think that matters quite as much. But I mean, here we're talking about a 40-year-old book, Bob Layton cover, in high grade, the first issue of Hercules. This is not easy to find in high grade. Hercules will be a thing. And when he is, there might be a lot of these out there, but in high grade, there are not a lot of them out there. Those are the first solo series books that are going to matter the most. This is a book that one of the other guys from Prospect 10 nominated and made the list this last week on our Prospect 10 list. Ghost Rider 75. This is the newsstand variant. It's the first appearance of this character, Steel Wind. Kind of a gaudy, in-your-face 70s cover there. This was cheap cover price. This is the first appearance of any story in the Old Republic era. First appearance of Nomi Sunrider, first cover of Nomi Sunrider on the front as well. Dark Horse Comics #7. This is the first story from the Old Republic, which we know we're getting. This is an ultra book, and I have no idea why it's important. I just remember he talked about it, and then it went up. So there it is. They had some nice old copies of Spider-Man. So yeah, I jumped on the bandwagon and got the Madame Web. I have one of these that I'm sending in to get pressed and graded. This one is not quite as nice as that, but it's I don't know. I think it's pretty nice. This is a newsstand variant. The corners aren't perfect, but that's a pretty spine. Again, this has been uh, this is probably up to like an $80 raw now in average grade. Another old Spidey that I always pick up if it's in decent shape. This first Spider, what do you call it? The Spider Cruiser, Spider Mobile. Just love it, love it, love it. This is a Gary Nusser book, first appearance of the new, I forget her name now, but the new Black Queen for the Hellfire Club. This is classic X-Men, actually. There aren't a lot of first appearances in this. Classic X-Men reprints the original when Claremont took over, uh, the original run of the Claremont X-Men books. But there are little small uh, original stories in the first 30 issues. And this is one that had a first appearance. It was a character, the love interest of Leland Shaw, and she died. But she was later brought back, and she's now in the current storyline in the Marauders as the new Black Queen. So, classic X-Men #7 with a great Art Adams cover too. And these, I don't have the backer out, but all these classic X-Men, they do have art on the back as well. I want to get uh, those clear boards so you can see, wraparound covers. I'm gonna pull this out. Oh, cool. Yeah, check that out. That's almost even better than the front cover. You got the White Queen. That's awesome. All right, I'm gonna put this back in before I forget. So, yeah, we don't have a lot of slabs this week. I think I've got some slabs coming though. I made some larger purchases in the last week. They just haven't shown up yet. There we go. I'm still on that, like I said, Gabby and Laura kick. All right, they had a bunch of issues of Knights of the Old Republic for less, or basically for cover price. So uh, none of the really big ones, but we got number 16. Let's focus. And these are all in high grade. Number 15, which includes an early cameo of Revan, not the first, but an early. Issue number 14, Knights of the Old Republic. Issue number 13. Again, some of these do sell for around cover price. This is number 12 on eBay. Quite a few of them, though, are at least $10, are trading for at least $10. Number 11. These are all direct. None of these were newsstands, unfortunately. Number 10, the issue after Revan was his big first. He doesn't show up in all of these. Jumping back to Dr. Aphra, this was just a nice cover for Dr. Aphra number 15. A character that I've been specking on recently is this guy, Tam Posla. He was part of her crew and later became an enemy. Hey, what's up, Richie? What's going on, man? So yeah, I think this was his first cover appearance. I don't know. Maybe. I love this book. I just never see it in high grade. And they had a $6 copy with 0 spine ticks for Star Wars number 16, Valence. We have not gotten a hint of him on screen yet, but it's inevitable, man. He was used a lot back in the original run, and he is being used a lot in the current run. So the Bounty Hunter Valence, his first appearance is here in pretty high grade. And then this is one of the reprints of Star Wars 1. It's not in great condition, but whatever. It's still Star Wars 1, right? 16, yeah. 16, and I love Jackson. If I can get high-grade copies of Jackson, love it. If Taika Waititi ever does a Star Wars movie, which he is supposed to, guarantee he would want to use Jackson. I'm trying to gauge what grade this is in. This is probably like a 7 or something, but whatever. It's a Star Wars 1. It's always going to sell, right? Dug into the dollar bins back in the local comic shop back in the hometown. Found a few little things. Astonishing number 10, the Joss Whedon run first. You know what? It's been a long Monday. I'm not even remembering all the first appearances, but not all of these lenticulars for DC I think are worth picking up. But again, for $1, there's a lot of, especially now that I'm selling on Whatnot, I'm finding even just lenticular covers that, I don't know, many of us don't think have any value. Some people do, like these kind of blingy foil, holofoil, lenticular, hologram covers. They can go for $5 to $10 pretty easily. Full Sword Team, thank you. So we had the first Cheetah, and then we got the first Ocean Master. I appreciate you stopping by, Richie. Good to see you, man. Another Image book that, if it's in high grade, which this one amazingly is, it's no board, no backer, but no spine ticks. One of the second tier of original Image books, Shaman's Tears #1. Great Mike Grell book. Even the back cover. I mean, this is really pretty considering it's completely unprotected. Do you know, Richie? Do you know if this one has a newsstand? I've never seen a newsstand of Shaman's Tears. I know it was printed to death, just like everybody else was back then. But I'd love to figure out if there is a newsstand for Shaman's Tears. What year is it? 90. Let's see. 93. 1993. I don't think it was one of the first, 5 titles that came out, but it was in that second generation, that second year. Vigilante has become a hit on the Peacemaker. He had his own series, and this was a pretty nice copy, a nice painted cover. I was trying to figure out who the artist is on this, and I didn't get a good answer on that, but really beautiful cover. I don't know if Vigilante is going to go anywhere or not, but we've been looking at his first appearance all over the place. Yeah, well, if I'll keep digging on that too, Richie. If you figure something out, let me know. My kid was digging through the dollar bin and said, "Dad, is this one good?" And I'm like, "Yeah, actually, Heathcliff #1. This is, again, I'm amazed at their dollar bins. There's like one spine tick maybe. I mean, this is a solid, I don't know, 9.2, which for an unprotected, 40-year-old comic book, that's not so bad. Heathcliff, that got optioned this last year and spiked up briefly. And then, yeah, hell yeah. I don't know. There must not be a lot of speculators in Fargo. Ricio's just selling them. I unfortunately went to a memorial service for my friend's dad back in Fargo this last weekend, but had a few hours to kill, so brought the kids to a couple of my old local comic shops. That's where I grew up in Fargo, North Dakota. And kind of, I didn't find any giant books, but a few, including, they still had multiple copies of this puppy just sitting on the shelf. So I'm assuming there aren't a lot of speculators in Fargo, North Dakota. I don't know. Maybe there are. They just don't go to that shop. Maybe that's it. All right. What else? I guess the last. Oh, I didn't cut these open. I'm trying to decide if I should go through these right now or not. Scout Comics was doing a mystery box auction on Whatnot, and I picked up a few of them because I know how amazing their monthly mystery boxes have been. Same, what did you say? I'm sorry. Same suit on the 1 and 200 for the What If book. I'm not, I lost you. I'm not sure what you mean. Maybe I'm reading that wrong. I should look these up before I actually go through them. Maybe I should save this for the next pickup, because some of these are kind of important. Well, since I'm holding this, I'll go through them. So Scout Comics, we got Tart. A lot of these are retailer variants or web store variants. Tart #1. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yes, the Puerto Rico costume, right? Once Our Land 2, #3. Again, I bought this whole box, all of these books from Scout for $35, I want to say. Oblivion #2. Again, I don't even remember which ones are Senji and Tembo #1, a Black Cake Comics exclusive. I'm not even familiar with that series. North Bend #2. This one I know. We Don't Kill Spiders #1, the Virgin pink variant. This is like a $60 book by itself. I want to say I grabbed a couple of them. Are any of them optioned? Yes, we just talked about one of those earlier that was optioned. According to the Scout Comics people, Unicorn is starting filming this month. The two creators, Don Hanfield and Joshua Malkin, have done a little bit of press. They have a YouTube interview that was released last month. They did a podcast last month where they talked to them about it's a comic book that was made. The writers of the comic book are in the movie business, so they made it with the complete intent of bringing it to the screen. But it really hasn't gotten any news. I'm not really sure why. I don't know. Love this cover. I picked this up when it came out. Rise #2. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cover. Just an awesome image. Shiver Bureau. Again, a lot of these Scout titles I know very little about, but there are some that are optioned. There are some that have pretty good value. I know this was a kind of rare cover for Swamp Dogs #1. The CBSN variant for Frank at Home on the Farm. Some of these have really awesome concepts. I know this one was one of those. This guy who comes back from World War I and isn't sure if he's going insane or if the place is haunted. Stabbity Bunny, Stabbity Ever After #1. This is signed. Signed, yeah, it's signed right there on his arm. I can tilt it. Got a little COA action on the back. Again, this whole stack for $30, $35. Yeah, well, honestly, Dollar, you want to know why I was in that early? Because my daughter loves unicorns. So really caught my eye right away. Once Our Land 2 #1. Once Our Land was also optioned as an animated project, but I really haven't heard anything about that option in a couple years. So, sometimes they can lapse. Category 0 #5. Actually, I've got 2 more of those boxes, but I think I'm going to save those for another time. Maybe I will do a little research on what those books are. I hate to show books that I don't even know what it is, if it's a incentive variant or retailer variant or whatnot. Anything else within reach that I forgot that I was going to show? Not really. Cool. Yeah, there are some Scout books, the Recount, Stabby Bunny, Gut Ghost popped up for a while. Unicorn really hasn't yet. There's a handful. They put out a lot of books, but there are a handful of them that have a good following. Cherry Blackbird is one of those now. Black Caravan, although that was option, but I know the option fell through. I was talking to one of the creators at Baltimore Comic-Con, so they are still shopping that around. Well, Richie, I really appreciate you stopping by. It's nice to have somebody to jump off of. Cherry Blackbird. Can you imagine that getting optioned? If you, the opening scene for Cherry Blackbird, I don't even think I want to describe it because I think the video will get flagged by YouTube. But check it out. It is shocking to say the least. And to see that on screen would be just bonkers. Like it'd be a grindhouse horror. It'd be a crazy, crazy show, man. All right, Richie. Hey, man, it's really good to see you. Let's try to get on a show together sometime this week, whatever that is. Spec 10 round table. If they got a ghost show going on, but I think I'm gonna call it a night, and I'm gonna go jump onto probably the Tales from the Flip Side video and see what they got going on tonight. All right. Peace, everybody. Thanks. Catch you next time. Later, Richie.